Hello and welcome to our very first clay art lesson. In this video, I'll be talking about the type of clay we will be using and how to use it. In future videos, I will be showing you tutorials, tips, and techniques to use with this air-dry clay. Before you start, you want to make sure that your work area is clear and you have a placemat or plastic sheet to help protect the surface that you are working on. You don't want to get clay on something you don't want to. In this video, I'm using a plastic page protector. Any type of plastic sheet or plate will help protect whatever surface you are working on with the clay. This clay itself won't stick to a surface. This is just merely a precaution and ease cleanup at the end. When you first open the clay from one of these bags, you may notice a slight smell or some residue. If you just work with it, kind of mix it back in, it'll be all good. Now with this air dry clay. First you can see the bright colors. Since this clay is already colored, you can plan and select what color you want to use for this project. Or you can be spontaneous and pick the clay that works for you when you need it. Try not to feel locked into a specific color when making a project. Use colors that resonate and agree with you today. In these videos, I will not be using any tools except for my hands. You are welcome to follow along and use only your hands as well. However, if you have access to other tools, you are welcome to use those as well. Make sure you ask permission before using or taking any type of tools to use with the clay. Since you will have your own clay, you will be in charge of the size of each project. I'm going to be making smaller projects so my clay lasts a long time. If you make a big project, you're going to run out of clay a lot quicker as this online semester goes on. This clay is going to be very different than the clay that we've been using previously. As you can see while you work with this clay, it's super stretchy as I just keep going back and forth. In fact, you may even have trouble severing two pieces of clay to make two. As I start to work with it, I don't get it on my hands. So now, one of the most important parts about clay is attaching one piece of clay to another. You get your two pieces, and then you squish it on. Make sure it's on there nice and good. And you let it sit just for a sec, and then that's it. You got your piece right on there. And a way that you can tell that that piece is really good on there is when I try to pull it off, it stretches instead of pulls right off. Because of how easy this clay sticks together, you can get two colors touching accidentally, and it's really hard to take that apart. So make sure while you're working with this type of clay that all of your pieces and your work area is not touching any other piece of clay, because it blends in really easily. However, we can also use that to our advantage. When we have two different colors of clay, you can stick them in, you can stretch it, and just keep working it. As I keep adding colors back and forth and back and forth, you can see now it's a different color. When you complete a project and you're ready for it to dry, you can set it on your plastic mat or whatever workspace you are working on, and you can leave it there. Depending on size, it will dry within 24 hours. So now for cleanup. For cleanup, you want to get all of your main colors of clay, turn them into big blobs and set them aside, including any colors that you may have mixed or that is unfinished. You can use a plastic or glass container to set the clay in. Remember to keep them separate so they're not touching. Or you may use an airtight plastic bag to set that clay in there. You want to reduce the clay's exposure to the air. Since it is air dry clay, it will start drying when it's exposed to the air. So you want to make sure that your clay is nice and contained, so then you can use it for later clay lessons. Now that that's put away, the next thing to do is to wash my tools. I only used my hands, so I'm going to go wash my hands. I hope you found this art lesson helpful and relaxing. Thank you for watching. Keep on being artful.